I šljas, evo mi ekipa drugi dan za redom. Ako niste pogledali jučer podcaste, bio mi je Jan Pokos, poznati hrvatski automobilist, mladić, 22 godine, već tako rastura. Ako ste u automobilizmu, volite aute, bacite pogled na to. I nakon njega je bio i Goran Šprem koji je analizirao igru Hrvatske na Euru. Danas, baš nakon ovoga, igramo protiv Švedske, tako da ćemo se požuriti malo da stignete i jedno i drugo. Ako ne gledate vaterpolo, onda gledate nas. Odmah na početku molim vas da stisnete onaj crveni gub subscribe. Ako niste, činite nam veliku uslugu. Ideja nam je doći do 500 000 pretplatnika ove godine na YouTube-u. Vas ništa ne košta, nama stvarno puno pomaže. Naravno i ovaj podcast ide na A1 mreži kao i svaki drugi. Danas imamo gosta koji je bio ovdje prije 3 godine. Mnogo toga se promijenilo i čućete što se promijenilo tako. Justus, nice to have you here again. 3 years passed since you were here sitting on that red couch. A lot of things changed, man. Yeah, a lot of things. So how are you doing? What's up?
I'm good. I'm alive, you know, keeping busy.
Most important.
But no, in all honesty, winter's pretty tough, you know.
Yeah,
the weather's pretty tough. And so just trying to survive the season and get back to doing some real work, so, yeah.
Yeah, I had to say that I really admire you because when you were here, you were just starting, you got... actually, you were there, I think, living in Serbia, and when we talked, when you could settle, you said, yeah, probably Serbia because, you know, it's the cheapest over there and expenses are less costly than here. But at the end, you decided to buy a house here. We'll talk about it. But, you know, from singing and doing guitar to going around Balkans on Jugo, this last project really it's really great, man. I love it. I keep track of it each day when you publish a new video. I love it. It's a great idea, man. So congratulations. So how did you come to the idea that you want to buy a house and rebuild it? What's going on with that?
Well, it had actually been my idea for a really long time.
Oh, it is.
I always thought it was interesting, the idea of fixing things. I've always liked fixing things. And I did a series of videos about fixing cars because I could afford cars. And I was thinking about doing the house project, but my business partner and travel partner at the time, Petar, who my OG fans will remember, he was actually in a video really recently, actually, as well. But he had a house in the forest that he was working on, and I pitched the idea to him long time ago, and he was like, listen, I'm not going to help you work on a house in the woods.
You said that.
Yeah, he was like, I've got a house in the woods. If I'm going to be remodeling a house in the woods, it's going to be my house. And I was like, fair enough. And so we pushed it off because we were, and decided to go in a different direction with the Yugo and traveling the country. And then him and I ended up parting ways. We're not working together anymore, but we're still really good friends. We're still close, and we talk, and we're good. But since I was on my own, I was like, all right, I guess I ought to settle down. Let's do that house thing. Initially, I was looking for houses in Serbia, to be honest with you. My girlfriend is Serbian. She lives in Serbia, and we had been long distance for a while. And I was like, all right, let's close the gap. We've been dating for more than 2 years now.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, all right, let's close the gap. Let's get together. Let's make this work. And Americans, it's not easy for them to buy land in Serbia, and it's very time-consuming. And I just couldn't find the connection I was looking for, and so I ended up changing gears, and I said, okay, this summer, I'm going to start a new challenge, and I'm going to live in a tent in the woods with no electricity for the entire summer, for 4 months. I was in the Army for 4 years. I know how to do that kind of stuff. I'm pretty good with the camping and the survival and all of that. So I go, I'm going to live in the woods. And I was like, I'm going to use a bicycle, take it around, and I'm going to just do it like that. And I was telling a good friend of mine in Zagreb, about my plan, and he was like, I got a house out in the woods that you could buy. And I was like, okay. And it was this one, this 5,000 euro house. So I bought it from him. And a lot of people are curious about, you know, like, how is that even possible for an American with the paperwork and the nonsense? But the fact is that is a good friend of mine, and it's his place. And so while all of the paperwork and all of the stuff was getting settled, he just let me live there and work on it and stuff like that. So if I had bought a house anywhere in Europe from a stranger, it would have been months and months and months and months and months of nonsense. But in this case, because he was my friend, I was able to just get started right away. And so the advantages were too high. And so I was like, all right, Croatia it is. And I certainly don't regret that decision. That was the right decision. My plan with the house was not to remodel it. It was to clean it, and I was going to live there without electricity, and it was just going to be like a tent. And people would come by, and, you know, like I had this guy come by. His name is Mario. He lives nearby, and he was like, you need a new roof. Your roof is shot. And I was like, I'm not going to replace the roof. And he's like, I'll do it for free. And I was like, we're going to put a new roof on this. And I reached out to my manager. I said, can you find us a sponsor for some roof tiles? And she was like, yeah. And she did. And so we got a sponsor for roof tiles. And this guy, Mario, wanted to do it. And I was like, can you get help to do it? And he was like, yeah. And it turns out he could not. And I was like, okay. And so I start going around to neighbors. And I go, can you guys help me fix the roof? And I'll pay you. And they're like, we'll help you fix the roof, and you don't have to pay us anything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And so I had 4 of my neighbors fixing my roof, and I didn't really, that wasn't in the plan, it wasn't in the cards, but the videos were so successful, and the followers were shooting up, and this is what they wanted. And effectively, I mean, even from episode 1, which we were just cleaning things and cutting down the forest and making it inhabitable, people were like, I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's done. And I was like, when it's done? Like, we're not doing anything. But with the willingness of my neighbors and the intrigue of the audience and the sponsors wanting to be a part of it, and we were just getting blown up with people saying, we have this, we have that. Like, a recent example of that is heat and air conditioning. I was not going to install that. It was not part of my plan. We weren't going to do it. And we have a sponsor reach out, and they say, we want to install it for free, and we'll pay you too. And I was like, done. Do it. Kitchen in the basement, same thing. Tile flooring, it's the same thing. Even paint, I mean, everything. And so it sort of became a full-on, like, we're going to remodel this. Like, we're going to do it. And there's been a lot of concern about neighbors not getting paid for that first project on the roof. They weren't, and for a few odds and ends. And it's because they didn't want to be. It's a big point of principle for them. But now, at this point in time, every single person who has helped me on the house has been compensated in some way. So trust me, everybody is happy. Everybody has been treated fairly and compensated fairly. A key point to followers of the series in regards to what's free and what's not. If I say something is free, then it is. And if I don't say that, it's not. And so, but yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, it was before, it was like, we'd do 3 videos, and then a sponsor would come in, and we'd do 5 videos, and then a sponsor would come in, and now it's a sponsor every single episode.
I know, every.
Not only is there a sponsor every episode, but there's a big, long line of sponsors who want to be involved. Who want to be involved. And so it's kind of morphed into something much bigger and much more serious and much more amazing than I had ever expected it to be. I was expecting to have a life of solitude out in the woods for the whole summer, and it turned out I made a bunch of new friends and a bunch of new connections and learned new skills and built a community online and in person, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. And I think that just comes from trust and saying yes and saying, you know, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to give it a try, and that's how it came about, and we're still working on it now. You know, there's still sponsors, there's still neighbors and people willing to help, and there's still work to be done. I mean, the house isn't finished yet, but we're getting very close. I think we'll finish it before the summer.
So tell me, what was your initial reaction when this guy, your friend, took you to the woods and showed you the house, and what was it? You know, it was like, okay, what can I do with this? So
well. That's a great question. I mean, I'm always thinking about content. So realistically, I was thinking the more difficult or treacherous this is, the better. I mean, I had been literally living out of a Yugo for years at that point. So, I mean, we were just, the audience enjoys to see misery of some kind. And so I was like, whatever, however more miserable I can be, the better this will be.
Yeah.
And
because
so,
they can connect with you.
The fact is, my
level.
friend, he didn't even take me out there. He just sent me a pin on Google of where it was. He goes, it's in the woods here. And we couldn't even find it day one. My girlfriend was with me, and she was furious that I had brought her out. We didn't have any supplies.
I can imagine.
We didn't have any axes or machetes or anything to cut the grass or to cut the trees. The path was non-existent. There was no path. And so we were out there for hours, and we didn't have any water, and we didn't have anything, and she was pissed. She was like, this is the worst idea ever. And then we went back the next day with my friend. I said, you need to come and you need to show me where this house is because I cannot find it. And we did. We found it, and yeah, it was horrible. I mean, just as bad as it could possibly be. And I was like, jackpot, perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for content, but also just for growth. Now, like I said, it wasn't like, we're going to turn this into the best house ever. It was just like, oh, this will be nice to clean. It'll be, you know, 5 or 6 decent episodes, and then we'll go on into, you know, survival and just day in the life and things like that. I had actually, what inspired it is I had read a book called Walden, which is a book from the early 1800s written by kind of one of America's great philosophers, Henry David Thoreau.
Okay.
And that was effectively what he did, is he went out to the woods and he built a cabin with his bare hands and he lived in it for 2 years. And just kind of wrote down what was going through his head at the time. And what he talks about is living life deliberately. Is you strip away all of the niceties of normal life, and then you can properly distinguish the difference between wants and needs. It creates an appreciation for, I don't know, the modern comforts that we have. And so, and he's extremely harsh about it. I mean, this came out in the 1800s, and he's talking about, you know, you pay, let's say you pay $5 to take the train to work, and it takes you to work in 10 minutes, when if you walked, it would take you 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you wake up early, walk to work for 2 hours, and you just paid yourself $5 for your work? He makes an interesting point. I mean, cars didn't exist at the time, and he talks about, you know, do you ride the train or does the train ride you? And I think you could say that about lots of things, about the clothes we wear and the cars we drive. And he even talks about luxuries like heat. You know, you light a fire in your house, and that's a luxury. You know, it's like, imagine what we have today. He invented the term brain rot, which we hear all the time now today about how people are rotting their brains with dull and uninteresting, shallow content on, he was talking about at the time was newspapers, was that newspapers were printing a lot of garbage that wasn't making the world any better.
Yeah.
And now
Similar like today.
Like today with social media, people talk about brain rot when it comes to things like that. And so it really touched me. It really moved me. And I was like, yeah, like I'm into that. And now here we are. Of course, we're putting all the luxuries in the house and we're making it really nice. But there's an impact there about focusing more on what happens inside as opposed to what happens outside. He talks about houses and about how he looks around the area he lives, that people are painting their houses and putting these pretty facades on and things like that. And he goes, how could these people be so worried about the color of their house when they don't know the color of their soul? And it's like, that's pretty profound. I mean, there is something there where it's like focusing more on the inner sort of spiritual, intellectual things, you know, and finding out who you are. What is your identity outside of stuff and things? And frankly, even society. Mm-hmm. And what does, not worrying about what society says about you. And so now, of course, I'm not exactly living in the way that he would have suggested. And I wanted to be alone, and I wanted to discover that about myself. But what I found is that, like I said, building this online community and building this in-person community has been really profound. And I've learned so much from just that. And so I think I would like to do an experiment like that, spend a little bit of time alone and try to remove those sort of niceties and things. I think that's the beauty of, we were talking about earlier, like fishing or camping or hiking, that moment when you get to strip away people and their thoughts and what they think about you or what you think about them, and you just kind of exist in the way we were created to exist. So.
Yeah, we are getting into these philosophical things, but when you brought that up, I think that you made some good points. Do you think that people are spoiled today, this whole new generation? We can talk about the situation in the States, because we always, get news from the States. And actually, most of the people in the States are living in the highest 5 or 10% of all of the people in the world, and they are constantly, unsatisfied with everything. They think that they deserve better. They think that they deserve by default some kind of life. They are not willing to earn it. They are not willing to work for it. They just say, I deserve this. I deserve that. I deserve better. But you don't, man. When you are born, you just deserve a chance to try real hard, right?
Yeah.
So that's a problem, I think, with today's generation, not just in the States, but in Europe.
I think it's worse in Europe, to be honest
it's
with
probably,
you.
it's
in the United States.
Probably.
That's just my...
Probably
I've lived in both places.
Yeah, it's probably is. So everybody is constantly, unhappy with everything, and if you strip it down, like you said, to the bone, you could probably find out that we are living better lives than anywhere in the world. So but, it's like, it's revealing.
I mean, Thoreau's argument is that our life is so good that it makes our lives worse.
It is. No, it is. No, it is, because people lose focus. They don't thrive anymore. If you don't thrive each day, if you don't try to do something new, to make some success in some new area, you will rot, man.
Yeah, it's my personal belief. I mean, I do think people are too entitled today, and I think that, and this is just, maybe I heard it somewhere, maybe I read it somewhere, so I'm not gonna claim I invented this, but it is, of my opinion, that human beings have a desire for conflict, and we want problems. We want issues. Yes. And back thousands of years ago, that was just about finding food to eat and water to drink, which is really hard when you live in a cave. And if we're talking even recently, you just go back a few hundred years, and it actually is about that simple.
I agree.
I mean, people talk. There's a saying that when we talk about a house, we say, "I have a roof over my head," but you don't just have a roof over your head. You have a lot more than a roof over your head.
I agree.
When back 200 years ago, it was literally that. Like 4 walls is not guaranteed. A roof maybe, but that kind of conflict gave people purpose. It gave them meaning. It gave them something to do on a daily basis. And I think we have such a large issue with mental illness today because there are no problems
I
to
talk
solve.
about it all the time.
There is no conflict. And because there's no conflict, your brain will create conflict out of nothing.
I agree completely. I bring it up all the time. Do you know a story about universal income? It's an idea that everybody, in wealthy states like Switzerland they already once voted about it. And I think
are they doing it?
No, but they are thinking about it.
They do have universal basic income in the United States on Native American reservations.
Okay, but I think it
doesn't work.
No, man,
This is
such a bad idea because you will just produce guys who don't have any meaning of their lives and they just want to drink or take drugs or whatever. So you need to have a purpose in your life, and universal income is really, really a bad idea.
Making life easier doesn't necessarily make life better.
I completely agree.
Doing hard things humans are designed for it. Our brains are designed
because
for
we
it.
lived like that for centuries.
Well, life has been hard for
you cannot change it in like 50 years.
Yeah, 99% of human history, life has been really hard.
And it still is, man.
It's hard because for different reasons. I mean, today, there are some parts of the world where getting food and clean water is difficult, but I can assure you they don't have as much of an issue with mental illness.
I agree.
Though, if I were to pick one, I would pick mental illness over, starvation. But it is interesting how people today create problems out of thin air because our lives aren't hard enough to begin with. And is there a solution to that on a large scale, on a government scale, on a policy scale? I don't think so.
Agree again.
I think ultimately, the United States, our system is decent, is the best we've got, from my opinion. The United States promises you one thing, and that's freedom. But freedom, it swings both ways. You have the freedom to succeed, and you have the freedom to fail.
Yes.
And in Europe, it's a lot harder to fail.
You have a responsibility about yourself. You are responsible for your life, and people have tendency to run away from it. You know, they said if they don't make it, the state is. Something wrong with laws. Somebody else took it from me, but it's not, man. You are not talented enough, or you didn't work hard enough. So I agree with you totally, man. It's a problem. I had a guy here, TV guy, and we were talking about, he wrote, he's really famous. He wrote a book about his mental illness, and we talk about it. So we talk about the causes of so many people are struggling with mental illness. And I said to him, man, it's a problem because people have meaningless lives today. They don't have any problems, they don't thrive, then they go to their doctor because they're anxious, and he gives them pills, and that's a solution. So in the States, I read some kind of, it was, I don't know if it's scientific paper or whatever, more than 30% of all population is hooked on antidepressives. How do you say?
Antidepressants.
Antidepressants. So it's bad, man. And if you talk to them, they say, "Yeah, my life is shit. This is wrong. But actually, it's not, man. You're just living meaningless life because your life is too good. I mean, to be honest, if you tell them, they will get offended, man. You don't know how does it feel. man, if you have existential problems each day, you will not think about, you will not get these crazy ideas or whatever. If you work. So actually, at some point, work actually saves you from crazy things.
You know what's interesting, and this is another point that Thoreau makes. You think of somebody who's desperate. That term desperate is somebody. If somebody is desperate, you can tell. Somebody wants something so badly that it's literally driven them crazy. They've gone mad. Somebody who is in desperation is somebody who is screaming, crying, begging. Somebody who, whatever it is they want, they need money, they need fulfillment, they need a partner, they need something. Somebody is so desperate. And the definition of the term desperate is basically somebody wants something so badly that everybody can see it. The paradox of today is that most people are living in what he calls quiet desperation, is that they feel that way on the inside, but they can't show it on the outside. And so they have the same internal feeling of somebody who's desperate, who's screaming and crying and freaking out, but on the outside, nobody can tell.
Wow, yeah.
And
that's
so,
true.
and they go through their lives with this torture of desperation, and it can go on for years, it could go on for a lifetime if you don't do something about it. But unfortunately, what people think the solution is to add more, to consume more, to buy more, to build more, to create more comfort. That comfort is the solution to their desperation. But
it's a cause.
It's not. Yeah, comfort is the cause of the desperation, and actually discomfort could heal it. And so now saying that this is entirely, that people are this way entirely by choice isn't quite true.
Agree again.
We live in a society that is promoting these sorts of things in a world of advertising where everybody is trying to tell you to buy their thing because it's going to make you happy or give you some kind of fulfillment, and people believe it, and why wouldn't they? And so if you go online, if you go on social media, if you even step out your door, you'll find lies everywhere saying that consuming more things or creating more comfort or indulging in whatever it is you want to indulge in is going to make you happy or is going to fulfill you, when it's just not true. And so, though I am creating more comfort in my life at my house, and I'm getting the heat, I'm getting the air conditioning, I'm getting the power, I'm getting the running water, I am building it,
It's a process. So you're enjoying a process, right?
And I'm earning it. And when I enjoy those things, I could say that those things were justly and rightfully earned. And there very well may even come a point where I start to get jaded towards those things, and I start to forget about what it took to get them, and I start to lose thankfulness for the reason I got them. And that's the time when maybe a little reset is necessary. You got to take that long fishing trip.
But it's everyday struggle for everybody. It's for me even, every day I have to put myself down to earth and say, okay, this is not good. I don't want to drive in that direction. I have to do this. I have to do that. But the other point was I wanted to make is that societies got bigger, and that's a problem, because if you live in a large city like Zagreb or Belgrade or New York or whatever, a lot of people around you, but you actually don't connect to these people. You don't know them. I lived in a big building with I don't know how many flats, and after 10 or 11 years living there, I didn't know the names of my neighbors. They were like faceless, nameless people. Just I was not connected to them. And then I moved to a smaller place, to Samobor, like similar to your places around where you live, and it changed because it's a smaller place. I know all the neighbors, and all these connections are important with neighbors, with friends, with everybody. We do barbecue together, we socialize and everything. So I think that living in a smaller place actually helps you get mentally very, very sane and well, because relationship and socializing with other people is important. And somehow we lost that connection in big cities. So I think that's a part of the problem also. So I think that this living in woods and having friends that help you actually helps altogether.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, this is what I kind of would tell people about joining the Army, is that it's like joining the Army, it sucks, it's terrible, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, going through, you know, the training, and that's why you should do it.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the hardest and the worst thing you've ever done. You'll be more tired than you've ever been, and you'll be more sick than you've ever been, and you'll be more sore than you've ever been.
But it builds you.
And it builds you.
And it builds your character.
Yeah, and I remember, you know, we had, when I was in the Army, during training, we had these big rucksacks, these backpacks, and mine weighed, I don't know how much. It was something like more than 100 pounds or something ridiculous. And we had hiked for 16 miles. I don't know how many kilometers that is, but it's a heck of a lot. And we had, periodically between the hiking, we had to stop and we had to shoot at the range, or we had to stop and go through an obstacle course, or there were lots of other soldiers who were weaker, who couldn't carry their packs, and so, you know, we had to take turns carrying an extra, things like that. And I had blisters on my feet. I was horribly sick the day before. I was coughing so hard I had actually coughed up blood, which had never happened before in my entire life or since. And so I had this horrible cough. I was ill. I was tired. And we finally got to camp. And to stop my coughing, I reached for some medicine, a little cough drop, which has motivational sayings on it. And the little saying on the wrapper, it said, "You've made it through worse before." And I thought to myself, no, I haven't.
It's a bullshit.
This is the worst
It's
thing
like Chinese fortune cookie.
Yeah, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And now today, you know, years later, how long has it been? Almost 7 years later, I can think back to that, and I can say on any difficult situation that I've been through worse.
Yeah, but
I've been through worse.
At the moment they're bringing again, you know, you have to go to army in Croatia, so it's
That's
a
what I
thing
heard.
right now, and people are like complaining all the time. No, man, it's just crazy. Why are you be doing that? We have professional army, and I think actually it's a good idea because it builds you up like a person. It builds your character, and it teaches you to obey some rules, because today's generation is all about breaking rules. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work hard. I deserve this. I deserve that. So I think that actually bringing back the idea that, you know, you have to go to army, it's good. And we are living in crazy times, man. So
Well, yeah.
crazy times. So I think it's a good idea.
At this point in time, I mean, when I had served in the Army, and I guess I'm getting a little political, but I don't think that this is an unpopular opinion, that's for sure. But being an American means to me what it seems like a lot of Americans are missing today. It used to be what our government stood for, but now it's not. And it was about a country that was for anybody and everybody, no matter where they came from and what they believed. And that is not what the current government administration stands for. And that's clear. If I were 19 again, I don't think I would join the Army, because I don't believe that our federal government, in this case, is standing for the values that it stood for before. And what's so funny about that is when I joined in 2019, it was the Trump administration then, too. And so I don't know what happened between then and there, or maybe I do, but it's a really long and complicated story. But at this point, you know, when people think of America, they think of the Statue of Liberty. And they think of the Statue of Liberty because that's where all the immigrants, they would see it when they came to New York City for the first time. And they came to the New World. And do you know, and this is something that that I memorized in school is the inscription at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. Do you know what it says?
Actually, no.
It says on the, and this might not translate well to Croatian because it's kind of old, but it says, as if the statue is saying this, as if it's speaking this to the immigrants that are coming in on the boats. It says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed. I stand beside the golden door." And it is basically what that's saying is, I want the worst, the lowest of your society. Send them here, and we're going to give you an opportunity to succeed. And that's what America is to me. That's what America is to Americans. It's what it was. And now what I'm seeing, I saw this just the other day, posted from Department of Homeland Security, posted a picture of the Statue of Liberty, and it said, "America for Americans." And I go, what does that even mean? America for America? What is an American? They're trying to define what an American is, but I don't think they know what it is. There's something disturbing about a country which is trying to shut itself off and focus on not giving people a chance. And it wasn't about, at the time when the Statue of Liberty was built and when we were bringing in more immigrants than ever, there was no welfare system, there was no safety net for any of these people. They were only promised the right, the freedom to succeed or to fail. And some of them did succeed and some of them failed. And so people think that, Statue of Liberty, liberty in general, America itself doesn't stand for, welfare. It doesn't stand for, it stands for freedom. It stands for liberty. That everybody gets a shot. Like you said, you're born with only one right, and that's the chance to succeed or to fail. And so when people talk about Croatia, and they talk about Croatia for Croatians or something like that, we need to focus on ourselves. I understand. I get that. Because Croatians are a people with a DNA. You can send in a swab of your DNA, and they will say, you are this percent, you're 60% Croatian, or whatever. This is your heritage. My heritage, my last name is Reid. That's a Scottish last name.
The Scottish?
Yeah.
I actually thought it was Dutch. I don't know why.
Apparently it means red. And effectively, there is no American with an American last name in America. You don't take a DNA test and it says, you're American. Now, there are Native Americans there. There are people who were there before these settlers came from the old world, and that's a different story. However, I can tell you that they're a much smaller minority in the United States, and they're not immigrants. So it's not like, but the majority, 99.5% of the population of America is immigrants. It's the most diverse country on the planet. And now, I don't know, like even that, I mean, I could be somebody who is like, yeah, I want to join the military, I want to serve my country, who has given me these opportunities, and I'm proud of that. And then when I see the federal government posting things like America for Americans, and I think like, yeah, on second thought, like,
I will stay in Croatia.
I guess this isn't really like what I thought it was about. And so, I here in Croatia and in Europe on my travels, I'm a big patriot. Like I said, I served in the military, I volunteered, and I believed, and I still believe in America and what it stands for and what it's about. And I'm just, not, it's just not the same.
I'm not impressed, motherfuckers.
I'm not impressed. It just doesn't feel the same. And so it's like, so that's, I don't know, that's my political about what's going on in the United States. I don't even remember what
was the topic? Nevertheless, give me 1 second. Ekipa, znaš ono kad ti nenajavljeno stigne neki gost kao što je nama stigao Justus ili se vratiš doma nakon posla, a nemaš volje stajati pored štenjaka i kuhat nešto, mi zato imamo Dominika i Karla, naše ljude, naše realizatore koji su nama pomogli i rješenje je Cekin Homestyle, gotovi panirani proizvodi od 100% pilećeg filea, nije ona neka unutra masa, nego prava piletina, unaprijed pečeni u struji vrućeg zraka bez dodatka ulja, znači nema nikakvog ulja unutra. Evo, u par minuta u air fryeru, tako smo ih mi napravili, hrskavi, sočni, zaloga i spremni su za posluživanje. Savršen snack koji je uvijek dobro imati u ledu. Cekin Homestyle Bites Strips, hit and eat. Stvarno odlična stvar. Evo, just help yourself if you want. It's great chicken, man. It's great chicken.
Chicken.
It's not Kentucky chicken, but it's chicken.
It's similar style.
Okay, tell me. Okay, I have to swallow. Okay, so you got a house.
Yeah.
So for, I don't know, today you have running water, so you have some canisters by your house, and you have water, you have electricity, you have generator, whatever. So it's a little bit luxurious, but for the first 3-4 weeks, month or two, what was it like? How did you manage? And did your girlfriend sleep over there or not? So I saw videos, there were a lot of spiders and stuff like that. I mean, it's a bit crazy, man, you being alone in the woods. How far are you from the first neighbor?
I mean, I'm about half a kilometer from the first neighbor.
Ah, that's not that
I'm about
bad.
half a kilometer, 500 meters into the woods. It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
So now every direction you look, you can't see another house.
Yes.
You can't see my house from the road. No, I mean, every season comes with its own challenges. I mean, it was brutally hot when I first got there in June and into July, so I was dealing with the heat and bugs.
Yeah.
Bugs everywhere, so many bugs. And that was brutal, but even now I have energy, but it's mostly from solar, and there's no sun recently. So I've been running mostly on gasoline.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
And gasoline is first of all, it's really expensive. So I'm kind of rationing it. So it's cold there quite a lot. And water, as of today, right now, my pipes are frozen. So nothing comes out.
So what do you do, man, for showering, for cooking, for... You have to heat it?
It depends. I mean, sometimes... I guess with the water, as of late, because this is a new issue, I'm just waiting. I just wait for the weather to get warm and it unfreezes, and then I use it. So I'll go a week without taking a shower or whatever.
That's okay, man.
I didn't shower today. My pipes are frozen.
Yeah.
But the weather is really inconsistent here. So it's kind of like, I don't think, we're talking like frozen pipes and stuff. I don't think it's gone more than just a few days frozen. There is a little concern about bursting, but there's not really.
No, I think it will be okay. But
ultimately, my water source is above ground. It should be buried in the ground, but it's not. It's above ground, and so it freezes.
But you're in a bad luck, because this is the worst winter in a while, man. So yeah. So you are 500 meters from your first neighbor. Did you have any experience or history in building stuff and construction before this, or you just said, okay, I will do it? Because as a lot of things you do by yourself. You dig. I don't know, help with help to your neighbors who are helping you. So it's a lot of work is done by you.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It was pretty handy back in the United States. I owned like a trailer house, small trailer house, and I worked on that. And that was fine. I remodeled it. I mean, I paid $8,000 for a trailer house, and I put another $8,000 in, remodeled it to $16,000 total, and then I sold it for $25,000. So it was like, boom, like that was a win. And so I guess from that experience, and we're talking new electricity, new appliances, new floors, even some walls. One wall I knocked down, another wall I built from scratch. And I did all of that almost entirely by myself. And so I was like, okay, I did this once before with a house. And it was, it was decent size, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that I worked on, the trailer house. Huge trailer. So I was like, I can take that over to here. Well, no. Almost none of my skills that I learned in the United States when I was working on the trailer house converted or applied. Now, I know how to use tools. I'm really handy. I'm the type of guy who I can learn how to do anything, you know? Okay. I really believe that. In the end, I've learned significantly less skills than maybe I would have otherwise. A lot of times, I just let the experts do their thing because I would just slow them down. Learning is great, but getting the job done quickly is actually a little more important for the case of the series. So, yeah, so I mean, I know how to use basically every power tool you can imagine. I know how to do basic things, but
other people are telling you what to do next.
You know, I made a video a while back. I got huge criticism for. It was one of the controversial videos I've made. I would say I don't think I've ever been in any like real proper controversy. Like I've never been canceled. But sometimes the video comes out that people don't respond well to, and one of them was I made a video where I was talking about how basically nobody in Europe knows how to do anything. Which you can imagine.
That didn't go well.
No, it didn't go over well. But effectively, it was based on my personal experience. I had a camper van, an old Zastava camper van, and I was trying to put electricity in it just like you would with a house, with outlets and light switches and lights and stuff like that. Tiny little thing. And I was going to do it myself because I literally couldn't pay anybody. It's not a house. It's like, oh yeah, let me hire an electrician. It's like, what? This is the car. Like, it's not, like, I'm not going to work on that. So I literally couldn't find anybody to do it. And I started calling around. I called every person I freaking knew, every handy person and basic questions. Like, okay, so I bought some cable here, but I'm just not sure which color wire is the positive wire. Can you tell me which is the standard to be positive? Nobody knew. Yeah. I bet I asked 6 people, and nobody knew what color it was. Do you know what color positive wire is? Yeah,
brown.
Brown. I should have called you.
I don't know why you haven't.
I should have called you. But I'm trying to build a breaker box with the switches. That's what we call it, because it breaks the electricity. So I want to build a breaker box, and I go to the Bauhaus, and I go, hey, I need some help with this. I need to, here's what I'm doing. Nobody there could help me.
Yeah, these people are clueless.
People, and it's like the third guy they brought over, the third guy who couldn't help me, old dude, like he's in his 60s or 70s, like white hair, didn't know anything. I go, you cannot find a single old man in the United States anywhere who doesn't know how to fix a breaker box. And what I had discovered, and this is my theory, was that it was because labor was cheap and tools were expensive. And so effectively, if I want to buy a drill, it's way more expensive here in Europe and in Croatia than it is in the United States. Yeah. But if I want to hire a guy to just do the work, it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
And so when I think about hiring an electrician in the United States, no way. Good luck finding your average dad or grandpa is not going to call an electrician. It's too expensive. He's going to fix it himself, and he's going to figure it out. He's going to get a book from the library, and he's going to read it, and he's going to figure it out. And here that just hasn't really been necessary because labor is really, really inexpensive. And even to this day, it's more expensive than it is in the United States. And so why not just hire somebody? In some places, like in Slovenia, you're forced to hire a professional. Yeah. Good luck doing the electricity in your own house. You're going to get a fine.
Yeah, you cannot do it yourself.
They won't even let you. And so why do I have to know which wire is the positive wire? I'm not going to touch that. that's dangerous. I could shock myself. And I made a video about it, and I showed off the wires, and I go, nobody in Europe knows how to do anything. And I had a bunch of people comment and say, that's dangerous. You shouldn't have wired that yourself. And I'm like, that's your problem. It's just a difference in mentality. However, I was wrong. I was totally wrong. People had a right to be mad because now I'm out in the countryside and everybody knows how to do everything. These guys are wicked smart, extremely handy.
Zagorci.
So this is just the difference between the big city and rural areas. And I come from rural America. I come from the middle of nowhere America, one of the states that nobody has heard of or been to. And basically, and here I was in Zagreb, in the big city, when I had made that video. And in the big city, it's different. And so I was like, this is a European problem. But really, I was just in a big city, and that's just big city. So in New York, does everybody know how to do their own stuff? Maybe not. And so that was a total miscalculation. So just to set the record straight. But it is, there's something to that. You know what I'm saying? Tools are cheap in America as compared to here. Not only are they cheap, but you can get them secondhand extremely easily. So when I'm working on a project and I don't want to pay $60 for a drill, I can get the same drill for $15 at a secondhand shop or at a pawn shop or something like that. They're everywhere. And so here, there's just a really weak secondhand market when it comes to tools. Like I was trying to use a nail gun. I was like, it shoots the nails to put the wood together. And it was the same thing. Like everybody's like, I saw that in a movie once.
Yeah, we don't have that here.
No, it's like, and I go to the store to buy one, and I go, fine, and they don't have it.
Man,
they don't stock it. You can't buy it.
Because it's too dangerous.
Good luck finding a suburban American dad who doesn't have a nail gun. Everybody's got one.
I know that you're living in Europe for quite a while now, but we are over-regulated society. That's a problem. Not just our country, but European Union wants to regulate everything. That's a problem because you cannot buy a nail gun because it's not nail. How do you call it? It's whatever. This kind of gun.
Nail gun.
Yeah, nail gun. Yeah. Because they say no, it's too dangerous. They're trying
gun in the name.
Yeah, they're trying to protect you. It's like crazy. I hate it, but nevertheless, it's like that. I get to know your neighbors. It's Mladen, Patrick, some other guy who are helping you all the time. So these guys are actually saying to you, okay, this is next. We need to do it like this.
They know it.
They know it.
Those guys are pros.
So what?
And if somebody in Croatia's got a nail gun, it's one of those guys. And if they don't have it, they can find it. I mean, like, we were, Patrick and Mladen, they have a cement mixer that we were using, and their cement mixer broke in the middle of a job. And I was like, oh, crap. And they're like, we'll ask a neighbor for it. And another neighbor had a cement mixer, and he let us borrow it. And it's like, who has a cement mixer? And so it's like, you know, I could see Patrick going to the United States and like, nobody around here has a cement mixer. You guys don't know how to do anything. It's like everybody has a cement mixer where I come from. So
but you don't have a nail gun.
So it's like it's not a fair comparison. Where it's like ultimately, if you go to the countryside, people are really handy, and if you go into the city, they're significantly less handy, and that's just the way it is. Now, like even if you go to the countryside, it's really interesting. They're very handy. Everybody's very handy, but they're like, I don't know why they're so handy. Like there is something actually there where the labor is like really cheap, really, really cheap. Like you find yourself, I mean, there's people I don't even know, and maybe it's just me, right? But there's people who it's like, hey, I need this plaster fixed on this wall. How much would it cost? And they're like, give me a case of beer and I'll do it. And it's like, oh, shoot. Like, why would I ever learn to use plaster if it costs like a case of beer to do? Like, okay. So it's like what people charge out there is I mean, and there's a lot of barter, you know. Well, if you help me chop this tree tomorrow, I'll help you, you know, set up that satellite dish for you, or I'll fix your window, or whatever. And so that's my experience anyway. So it's like everybody knows how to do everything. Everybody can fix a car and a tractor and a motorcycle and a roof and a window and a door and everything. Everybody knows how to fix everything. Yet, if you don't know how to do something, you can find a neighbor who's going to do it like that and for a really affordable price. And so it's like,
That's perfect for me.
yeah. And it's like, here I am, I don't know how to do it. Win, you know? Where it's like, just yesterday I had an issue where a tree had fallen on my path and I couldn't get through. So I grabbed my chainsaw and I decided I'm going to chop it down myself. But my blade was too dull on the chainsaw. And so I started and I just couldn't get through. And so I call my neighbor and I go, hey, I got this tree in my path. Can you cut it down? And of course, they don't want to charge me anything. They don't want any money. They're just going to come do it. And he goes, I'm at work. I can't do it. And I go, all right. I call the next neighbor. Hey, you got a chainsaw? Yeah. And he comes right up and he does it. And it's like,
Win-win situation.
that's pretty great. That's pretty amazing. That's an amazing community.
How did the people find out where do you live? I know that when the information came out, it was like first they speculated it's like Bosnia, Middle Bosnia, Serbia, somewhere in the woods.
It's because I haven't said it officially in any
And then, you know,
videos.
I read an article in the newspaper saying the famous TikToker Justus Reid is living in Zagorju. I said, what the fuck? No way, Zagorju. He told me he will live in Serbia, motherfucker. And then, you know, but people actually don't know the exact location. So you will probably keep it a secret, right?
Well, yeah, I don't want to tell anybody the exact
because
location.
maybe
I mean, it is in
some
Zagorju.
fans will go over
I can't
there.
keep it a secret forever. I mean, listen, let's be honest. If you guys want to, to anybody listening, if you want to just come up and take a picture, don't. You know, like I live there, guys.
It's
like
private
I need
thing,
some kind of privacy. If you think you can help with the construction, then you're welcome to come, because we can use the help, and I'm willing to do that. Now, right now the weather is really bad, but when the weather improves, if somebody wants to come up and says, yeah, I got 2 hands, I got a free afternoon, what can we do? Then I'm cool with that. But I've got loads and loads of people who come up who just want to take a photo, and I always, one of the first things I ask them, I go, hey, where are you from? Where do you live? And if they go, oh, I live just over the hill, great. It's a neighbor. Let's exchange phone numbers. Let's chat. You know, and it's not even necessarily like I want you to work on my house. It's like, hey, maybe come over for a barbecue sometime, neighbor. Like, you're part of the community. But then I've got people who are like, oh, I drove 2 hours to get here.
And then you are
like,
taking out the shotgun. You say, okay,
I'm like,
private property, motherfucker.
I'm like, come on, guys. Like, and it is kind of nerve-wracking. It's like I live in the woods in a totally secluded area, and it's like I still don't feel like I have much privacy, because like somebody could pop out of the woods at any moment. Hey, and I got a camera. Hey, what are you doing? So how do people find out where it is? I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. It's really not that hard to find out at this point. It's been blasted all over the internet on basically every channel. I mean, I saw a post on Reddit. Somebody had posted something like, it was really negative. It was really harsh. And somebody had posted, it was the top comment. It had hundreds of upvotes, and it was like a picture of my house on Google Maps. Like, oh, here it is. And I was like, nice. I ran into some people at like a supermarket who were fans. We took a photo, and then they showed up at my house a few hours later, and I was like,
that's scary,
I
man.
didn't tell you where my house was. And they were like, well, we knew you lived in the area and from the videos, and so I got on Google and I did some searching, and after a few hours I found it. I was like, well, all right.
You should get some help, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
and so it's kind of like, I mean, like I legitimately do live there. Like if you're looking for me, like chances are you'll find me there, but like, don't.
Please don't.
Please, unless you're my neighbor. If you want to know where I live and you find out that I'm not far from you, you know, within like a 3 kilometer radius or whatever, then come say hi. That's fine, you know.
I know it's
Bring rakia.
I know it's a cheesy question. I asked you this kind of question last time, to compare Serbians with Croatians and stuff like that. But now you have more experience, and I don't want you to make some parallels between Serbs and Croats. But what are people from Zagorje like? Because they are specific. These are actually your neighbors and friends and stuff. What did you learn about them?
I mean,
they're hardworking people.
Yeah,
very,
sure.
very hardworking people. And people appreciate them. But what are your experiences?
I don't know that I have a completely correct view of them because I'm really well known in the area, especially now. I mean, pretty much everybody in Zagorje seems to know that I'm there. But it's mostly because I've worked with some local news agencies who are specific to that area and things like that. But it's a very interesting region. I've done some research and I found out that there are 21 counties in Croatia, and it is the 18th poorest. And it is surrounded by counties that are in the top 10 when it comes to GDP, when it comes to income and all of that. So, and objectively very poor, bottom 20% county, surrounded by rich counties, objectively. By bottom 20% surrounded by the top 20%
I understand
on
what you're
all
saying,
sides. And that really fascinated me. I was like, how did this happen? That's where Tito was born.
In Kumrovec,
Yeah, in Zagorje. And I think effectively what had happened is after the war, that area was really industrialized and it was really built up, and they were doing steel and clay bricks and tiles and manufacturing all sorts of things domestically, and all of that went away after the war. And I think it was because, especially since Tito was from that region, I think that area was given a lot of special attention to sort of modernize it. And maybe it wasn't so natural, it's more artificial growth, which is fine. That's what a government should do, right? Taking an oppressed region, or not oppressed necessarily, but a less developed region, and developing it. And they were building it up. And then the war happened and it just crashed hardcore. And so you've got people around there who are, if they're older, they're nostalgic for the old times, and they feel like the old times were much better, which throughout Croatia you will find that is not the case in a lot of places.
Definitely.
A lot of people despise Yugoslavia and despise Tito and despise that time, and think that it was the worst. And they talk about that they were oppressed in Yugoslavia. We were oppressed. And maybe that was true in some counties and in some regions, but in Zagorje, it was not true. They were getting built up by Yugoslavia pretty heavily. And so you'll find that, funny enough, some areas of Croatia can be rather extreme politically. I found Zagorje to be not so extreme. People there are actually pretty moderate. A lot of them just don't care. They're just not really involved. Maybe they feel like the system has left them behind or forgotten them, and maybe that politicians don't help them or don't care, and so they just kind of check out, And I like to talk about politics and all of that with people, and I can't find anybody there. Who cares?
It's like, man, I'm suffering.
Yeah,
I need somebody.
Yeah, and so I'm there. I'm trying to learn about the country that I've been living in. I'm like, tell me about this, tell me about that. How does this work? And no, I don't care. And so, it's people are a product of that, and that a lot of negativity comes with that. A lot of negativity, and so there are lots of issues with alcoholism, and there's not a lot of jobs, and there's a lot of people who lack hope and purpose and direction, and it's common. And you can see it in the landscape, and you can see it in the people, too. Now, you'll also find that the community there is a lot closer. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's a little jealous of everybody. There's actually quite a lot of competition.
That's known for people from Zagorje.
And I have heard that. I mean, people say like, ooh, you know, be careful working with those people in Zagorje and whatever. But, and I've seen it too. I mean, trust me, I've been through a few of these neighborly disputes since I've been out there, and I will probably be through some more. And it even happens. I mean, I've got random reports to police from anonymous neighbors about stupid things. I'll get reported for this or for that, or there's some, and then, you know, people show up and they go, hey, we're sorry, we're just, somebody called, and anyway, have a nice day.
So it happened, really happened?
It has. And,
wow, crazy.
But it's like, but on the other side, I mean, I've been met in Zagorje, in my neighborhood, in my area, and frankly, by the whole region, totally open arms. They're so welcoming, they're so kind, they're so good to me. I mean, for me, it's like, I would pick Zagorje over Zagreb for...
Oh, definitely, man.
Now, of course...
I support you. Zagreb sucks.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Zagreb has its benefits, but it doesn't... Zagorje isn't so far away.
Yeah, it's like
so
40
I can go
minutes.
To Zagreb
40 minutes to drive,
yeah.
right?
So I can go to Zagreb when I want. And frankly, I mean, even Belgrade's not so far, and even Ljubljana's not so far. And so it's like, or Banja Luka or whatever. Like
everything like 3 or 4 hours, mostly.
If I want to go somewhere, I can hop in my car and go there. And so it's really not that bad a place to live. If you can earn an income, which is very difficult there, and if you can build a community or have some sort of support of the community. If I didn't have neighbors out there who were looking out for me, who were helping me out, I mean, I'd lose it. I'd go insane. And so it's like there are some caveats. You know, I've got American friends and family members who, you know, half jokingly, you know, are like, well, what do you think? Should I move out to Croatia? And I'm like, no.
No.
No. And it's because the cost of living is high and the income is low.
Yeah.
And that's true across the country, but in Zagorje, it's especially bad. And so it's like...
It's a struggle.
But I mean, like, getting a kebab and a drink in my little village...
It's 20 euros, right?
It's like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how do people afford this around here? Like, I know what people are making. I know what the salaries are. And it's like, this isn't working, you know? And I'll leave the supermarket. I remember the first time, you know, when I was 18, I moved out from my parents' house, and I remember the first time I had to fill my own fridge. And like the total, once I had picked everything out that I needed, came up to like $100 or something. Like 105, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I can even pay that. Like I barely had enough money, and now I buy, you know, 30% of what I used to buy back then because things are different in Europe. You buy less stuff, and it's like 140 euros, like every time I go to the supermarket, like weekly. And I'm like, I don't know how people live here, but they make ends meet. They make it work.
Yeah, the problem is it's changed a lot in the last...
I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of people in Zagorje complaining about their mental health.
No, actually...
So maybe they've got it all right.
Actually,
in the grand scheme.
I'd already told you about the guy who was talking about mental illness, and then actually he told me, I didn't have any case of any people ever from Zagorje complaining about mental illness. Actually, this was his quote.
That's hilarious.
So it's true thing, but things changed a lot in the past 7-8 years. Things got more expensive. You know, earlier it was quite cheaper to live. The problem is that we have expensive government, and you know, taxes are high, so everything is taxed 2 or 3 times, that's a problem.
I'll tell you what, even in the United States, it's getting really expensive.
Yeah, I know.
I can't even tell you that it's like, oh, well, in the US, we've got it really great. Like, I mean, inflation is outrageous, and supply chain issues, and now with tariffs.
Yes.
I mean, my dad was running a coffee shop for more than 10 years, and just a month ago he had to sell it. He had to sell the shop, and it was because he couldn't afford the coffee.
I know that you told me about this coffee shop
yeah.
the last time. Yeah.
The tariffs.
So it's sold.
The tariffs crushed it. Yeah.
When I see your house, you said it will probably be finished by summer. But with that kind of project, it's never finished. I saw, you build a little shack, then you have a platform for jacuzzi, then you have a roof for the barbecue and stuff like that. But for me, the biggest problem so far that I can see from your videos is like lack of road.
Yeah.
Because it's really muddy over there. So when will you feel that the project is finished and then you have to move on something else because you have to create the content? And are you planning to do some kind of road or whatever so people can reach you more easily?
I am planning on a road. There's no question about it. I'm planning on a road. But the reason we pushed that off so far is because...
a lot of construction, so it will get ruined, right?
Yeah, and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
It's like a big road. I mean, it's going to cost tens of thousands of euros.
Wow.
It's going to be ridiculous. And it's like, so not only that, but also land disputes and issues. I mean, just trying to get through, I mean, it's a lot of land and it's a lot of parcels. And it's got to go through a lot of parcels that I don't own, which first of all, I don't like because now the road that we're currently using is going through parcels I don't own. But if we're talking about investing thousands of euros, tens of thousands of euros in a road, and then somebody comes along
and says, this is mine.
Yeah, hey, tear that out. It's like we're screwed. And so that's been an issue. It's solved now, so we're good there. But I really don't. I don't want to have any issues there. So it's like now in regards to building all of these other things, the reason we build them, I mean, there is a necessity there, that's for sure. But a lot of people think that we prioritize things poorly, and I get that criticism a lot. I even get it in person. People go, why did you do this before that? And it's like content. We're trying to make content here. Like, listen, if I call a guy who's supposed to do...
They don't look at the whole picture.
Well, it's like I call a plumber, and the plumber says, I can come in 2 months. This is just this isn't actually a true example. I'm just making something up. But it's like if a plumber says, I'll come in 2 months, and the guy who does the facade says, I can come next week, well, you're supposed to do the plumbing before you do the facade. Otherwise, you have to cut into the facade.
Of course.
I'm going to do the facade. And it's like, oh, you're doing it backwards. You're doing it wrong. It's like, no, I'm trying to make episodes, and I'm trying to keep this series rolling. And so, it's like, oh, I need to do tiles, and it's like, a guy can't be here till next month. And it's like, we're going to build a jacuzzi platform over there. Like, we can't wait. We can't wait a month. And so, I mean, sponsors push most everything, though. I mean, it's like, okay, so why did we build that platform for a jacuzzi? It was because the company, Wellis, wanted to give me a jacuzzi. And I'm not going to tell them no.
No, of course.
And it's like, we want to give you a jacuzzi. Do you have a place for it? I will.
Tomorrow.
I will.
And then you call Mario.
Yeah.
Do you still have this?
Come on out here, Mario. Come on out here, Igor. And they love it. Most of the guys who work on the house love the content. They love to be in the videos. They like the attention. Now, I make it very easy for them. They're not actors. I don't tell anybody, say this, say that. Like, hey, stop what you're doing. Can you do that again? Like, I very, very rarely interrupt. So it's like if I want to get an action shot and while somebody's working and I miss the shot, I'm not going to, I'm just going to shoot. Moving on. It's because I don't want to interrupt their process or to make them feel uncomfortable. So basically, I mean, And it's like the shed that came from a sponsor as well. We were thinking we would put a shipping container up there, actually, but and I found a sponsor for a shipping container. That's another great example. There's a sponsor who wants to give me a shipping container. I don't have a place for it. We gotta make one. Yeah, it's like, oh, we want to build you a shed. And it's like, oh, we need to build a foundation for that first.
I think shed is better than container. I mean, it's more
the shed
natural
is nice. The shed is
in
very
woods,
nice.
and it looks great.
We'll have the container as well, though. The container is going to be useful. I'll park things inside, vehicles and things like that. Sponsors drive so much of this series. And it's brilliant. It's great because these sponsors are giving me exactly what I need. And it's like, okay, it's like, well, I don't want heat or AC, but now that I have it, I can't believe I ever didn't want it. Like, I never wanted
Yeah.
it. And it's like, I didn't want a kitchen inside, and now that I have a kitchen, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why did I not want a kitchen? Like, that's so dumb.
So you had to eat takeouts until probably
Lots
now,
of
right?
Mesny narazak,
Masni narazak and
noodles and instant noodles. And
yeah,
things
so
like
that you
in
did
the
a lot
kettle.
of barbecue. That's nice.
Lots
During
of
the
barbecue,
summer.
and I'm eating out a lot. Even today, I'm eating out a lot. But the reason I'm eating out a lot today is because I don't want to spend gasoline to heat my house, and so I go out and a nice long dinner. Because I don't want to go home and heat the house. So yeah, and there's just so many. I mean, it's just full of these little happy accidents all over the place. I mean, over and over. I mean, almost every episode. It's just like, wow, I didn't want this, but somebody suggested it, and now I can't believe I ever could live without it, you know? And that's an amazing thing. It's an amazing feeling. I mean, I would regularly, on a regular basis, it just takes my breath away, seeing the progress we made. Where it's like, because I live there, you know? And so when I see that new artwork get put on the wall or that new appliance get installed or any sort of progress, it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, I thought this day would never come, you know? Like, I didn't think we were ever going to get this far. And I feel that way regularly. Like, I can't believe we got this far.
But if you push all this construction aside and you focus only on living in there, and, you know, when you don't do anything, just, you know, think about things or whatever, do you feel comfortable in the woods over there? And how do you feel with all this quietness around you and nobody living with you? Are you feeling sometimes lonely or something like that? Because
For sure.
I like conditions like that. I like, you know, being in woods. I like when it's quiet. I like green around me. But man, now it's so cold and fucking freezing that I would say, okay, please.
I'm feeling a lot more lonely recently than I did before.
And the days are shorter also. No darkies around.
It's terrible, but things are getting better. They're getting better regularly, and you get kind of used to it over time. At first, it's a little harder, especially with so much progress happening on a regular basis. And I know the audience is a little upset with how spaced out videos. They used to be every day, and then they were every other day, and then every 3 days, and now it's like once a week. A new video is coming out, and it's just because, and it's not because I'm lazy or not because I'm not trying, but just because it's just impossible to work in these kind of conditions. So, I'm hoping that the weather will improve and I can pick things up again. And when will the house actually be done? It depends. It depends on sponsors. I mean, if a sponsor comes by, I mean, we're talking to a sponsor about a sauna. So if a sponsor wants to give me a sauna, then you better believe we're going to build it.
Great.
You know, and that's another few episodes. And I was talking to another sponsor about a swimming pool, an in-ground swimming pool.
Swimming pool, wow, that would be.
Yeah. And so we were thinking about doing that too. And it's like, what, a sponsor wants to build me a tennis court, then we'll build it. And if a sponsor, whatever, like you name it, I don't care. Like we'll keep going. I had a sponsor who, and we'll see. I had a sponsor who wanted to build me an entire house. A sponsor who builds prefabricated homes.
Oh, okay.
And they basically just build them like we do in America. Like
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
look
yeah.
like
I know. I wanted to buy one.
Yeah, they just look like American houses, and it's like 200 grand is what they cost. And they were like, "You're making a series about your 5,000 euro house. What if you made a series about how we build our houses, and we would build it for you, and you document the process?" And I was like, "That's great. I don't have any land to build it on. I've got land, but not like that kind of land."
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that's in the cards for the future. There's all sorts of possibilities and opportunities, and I'm open to anything. You know what I was thinking I would love to do is I'd love to get myself an island on the seaside. If anybody here, has an island for sale, then send me an email.
We have 1,200 of them, yeah, in Croatia. So yeah, probably somebody does.
There's got to be an island for sale. Somebody help me.
Somebody. I saw that you repaired your Yugo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, after 8 months.
Yeah,
So
it's
you've
here
been
in Zagreb.
reunion. Do you miss these days, sleeping in a car and with Petar driving around? I saw that actually you were in Turkey, Greece, Bulgaria, all over the place. So, yeah, you didn't give up on the Yugo.
No, and I wouldn't say I miss it so much now. I mean, that was a really exhausting time. It was very stressful. It was expensive, It was expensive to do all that, and so all the money I was earning was going out pretty fast. And so now that I'm sitting still, I don't have any bills or anything like that. I actually am having an opportunity to save. I've got all previous debts paid off, so I'm clear. When before it was an issue, I mean, I was racking up debt, and I was eating out for every meal every day, and there was no days off. It was just crazy, and so. There's a lot of stress financially. There was a lot of stress physically. There was a lot of stress mentally. It was really tough. And now things are a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
They're still stressful, but in a different way. And less so. So, those times weren't so long ago. I mean, less than a year. I mean, I quit doing that about 9 months ago or something like that. And I wouldn't say that I miss it. Ask me in 5 years, and I probably will. I'll probably be very nostalgic.
What happened to Florida? I saw that you bought two Floridas, right?
Gave it away.
You gave it away.
But you
paid it
one of my
like
neighbors.
Something crazy, right? It was expensive.
$4,000 or
$4,000,
something like that.
but it's crazy, man. It's a lot for this kind of shit.
I gave that car away. It's gone. And what's amazing is I don't really have an audience now that cares.
About Florida.
No, back, when my audience was a lot smaller, they cared about these little minute details, and I cared about them too. It's like, where's this car? Where's that car? What's that project? What's happening here? They wanted these kind of updates. But now, a car can disappear, or a person can disappear, or whatever, and people are just like, well. And I gave it away. I gave it to one of my neighbors, and he's gonna pull the engine out and put it in a race car.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy idea.
Well, listen, the car was registered in Serbia, and the registration expired while it was here in Croatia.
Okay.
And so we can't get it out of the country. It's stuck. It's a brick. And I could have driven it back to Serbia and re-registered it, but for that vehicle, it's
not worth it.
Not worth it. And it gave me so much trouble. It's the worst car I ever made. There's no question about it. It's the worst car I've ever owned. It's the worst car I've ever driven. It's terrible, and you can only polish a turd so much. I really tried. I really tried to make it work, make it cool.
It's impossible, right?
Impossible. I could not make that car cool. I could not make it work. I could not make it comfortable. Everything I tried to fix just broke right away. And so ultimately, Yugo Florida isn't even ironically cool. It's just bad in every way. Sorry to my Yugo Florida fans out there.
No, it's completely true.
The Yugo is not actually a bad car. The fact is you get what you pay for with a Yugo. Yugos are cheap, and they drive like they're cheap. And that's that. A Yugo Florida drives worse than like it's cheap. That car will let you down. It will leave you stranded. A car is supposed to get you to where you need to go. It's supposed to get you back and forth. A Yugo Florida can't even do that. So I will trash the Yugo Florida all day, every day. All my homies hate the Yugo Florida. And I put so many kilometers on the thing, tens of thousands of kilometers. I drove it all over Southeastern Europe. I mean, I drove it from Belgrade all by myself with no radio, from Belgrade to Montenegro to Zagreb, back to Belgrade, back to Zagreb, all by myself over the course of like 2 weeks. And oh man, I was in Bosnia too. I was in Herzegovina. And I'd never want to drive that car again, man. Never again. And so when I drove it until the registration expired, and it was just like, who wants this car? Anybody? Hey, you guys have been helping me on my house. You guys are good guys, you know. Hey, who wants a car? And one of my neighbors took it, and he's like, oh, I got a buddy. He wants to put in a race car, and I was like, do it. And it was funny because I was like, you got to let me know when you do it, so I can film it, so I can put it in a video. And I don't even know that I'll do that. Like, I'm so traumatized. And once again, maybe nostalgia will fix that as well. You know, it scrubs away the rough edges.
Crazy thing is that this Florida actually model was made to be luxurious. It's crazy, man. I saw when you bought it, the second one. First one,
yeah, you go Florida business.
Yeah, business. And then you took, I don't know, glove apartment or something, and just the parts fell up, you know, everything fell apart. It was like... It was like plastic from, you know, this Kinder Eggs.
I can't even do it, man. It's even worse. It's like eggshells, man. It's just horrible. So, yeah, Yugo Florida is gone. The gold Yugo I will keep forever. I will keep that car. I'm not the sentimental type. But you know what I found? And this is really interesting. My entire life, in order to afford another car, you had to sell a car, right?
Okay.
So you have to sell a car so you can afford the new one. And that gold Yugo is not valuable enough to make the money worth it. Like, and I don't know that, who knows if I'll keep driving it or what's going to happen, but man, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be 80 and it's going to be in the barn covered in dust and dirt, and I haven't driven that thing for 40 years. Somebody's going to be like, is it for sale? No. It's like, it's sitting here. It's doing nothing. It's kind of, but like, I get it now. I get the barn find thing, how people keep these old ratty cars, and they just don't want to get rid of them. And it's kind of like, what would you give me for it? And it's like, I'll give you 10 grand. And it's like, I don't need 10 grand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just put it in ship container, man, and just wrap it all around and keep it for...
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, over the next few years, I'll certainly drive it. I mean, that car is fun, it's cool, people love it, it puts smiles on people's faces, it puts smiles on my faces, and who knows, in 10 years, it'll bring back good memories, it'll, all of that, but when I say I'll keep the car forever, it's like, am I going to drive that car forever?
Not sure.
But I'll keep it forever.
Did you learn some creation words, or I don't know, maybe some sentences or whatever? How much do you understand when, I don't know, Igor and Mladen are speaking to each other? Do you understand anything? I'm
getting better at understanding. My language skills have not developed at all since we last saw each other, to be completely honest with you.
Is it too difficult or what?
I mean, ultimately, I never took a language class growing up whatsoever. I never even made an attempt to learn another language. And so it's just not really in my DNA. Now, it's not necessarily an excuse, but the real excuse is that I think it takes me a little extra effort to learn a language than it would for somebody else.
Yeah, definitely. It's difficult. Creation is difficult.
Well, I just don't have that history. And so I need to really make that my that needs to be my full-time job. Like, I need to be like, I am going to learn this. I'm going to put the effort in. I'm going to put the time in. And right now, I just don't have the brain power or the energy or anything. And I haven't since I got here, because I've been on the hamster wheel running like a maniac.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to, you know, make money so I can feed myself and keep the process going. And so maybe when the house, and that was one of the things I was going to do in the woods. When I was in the tent in the woods, I was going to learn, because I was going to have nothing better to do. I wasn't going to have TikTok to watch or anything like that. And but no, that plan went out the window. So maybe when the house is finished and things, you know, there's a little more money in the bank and I can afford to kind of just take the time off and relax a bit, then I'll put in the effort and the time to learn. But right now, it's like, I just don't know that my brain can take it. And there's, like I say, there's some people who can multitask. There's some people who can work the full-time job and learn the new language and raise the kids and whatever all at the same time. But because of my lack of history with that particular skill, I just think it's going to take me a lot more effort.
But the good thing is that if you learn Croatian, for example, you will understand Serbian and Slovenian, so all almost similar, well, almost identical languages.
Yeah.
So yeah, you learn one, you understand 5 or 6.
My
so
listening power is getting much better though, just naturally. Like I am getting better at like understanding what people are saying, like connecting those dots. I'm not completely, totally lost when people are speaking in the local language. It doesn't sound like complete nonsense to me anymore. Before, it was nonsense. It was just gibberish, and I couldn't tell when one word started and another ended. But now my listening has gotten better.
Yesterday I was watching a handball game, and Denmark was playing, I think Portugal, whatever, and they had this minute of break, and the coach was, yelling, blah, 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 blah. And I told to my wife, if my life depended on it, I couldn't recognize one word from Danish. It's like crazy. It's like, what are these people saying? It's like, it's like, I don't understand anything, If somebody threatened me with a gun and say, okay, I'll shoot you, just understand one word in one sentence, whatever, I said, please shoot me, man. I don't understand anything. It's like, so probably when you came here, it sounded similar to you. It's like, It's like gibberish. What are these people saying? I said to you, hour and a half, we're all speaking 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
We'll do a little break. At the end, when you finish everything, please call us. You will have some kind of opening ceremony, right?
Yeah, you got to come for a barbecue.
With pool, barbecue, and everything. So we invited ourselves for Podcast Inkubator.
Of course you're invited. Of course you're invited. That sounds great.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to see it because I admire this. I actually, when you did the first video, I never expected. I thought that you were come back to, I don't know, some music videos or traveling or whatever.
Doesn't make any sense.
But when you started and you did first video, I said, oh man, this will be a jackpot because it just suits you perfectly. It's interesting because people like, I'm depending on building videos on YouTube, but I don't know, people are building watches, baits, whatever. The process of nothing becoming a thing, it's very interesting for people. And I think that you concluded very well that people like somebody struggling, they can identify with them. So I think that
like struggling. We talked about that too. Struggle is good. It's good
struggle is good. So you hit the jackpot, man. Just keep going on. Just do whatever you do because it's perfect, man. So I congratulate you on another successful project and thank you for coming to podcast again to tell us your story.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Ekipa, vratit ćemo se, we'll be back in like 2 minutes or whatever, just, a short break and then Justus will actually answer some of your questions. Thank you one more time.